Okay, everyone. This is intro into scheduling, Gantt scheduling for geared towards the UTO division. However, there's several points here. We'll make another video that's specific to uh, other divisions, the deferred renovations and development divisions. This is a little bit more for UTOs. However, good info here for all divisions until those other videos can be made. So in the UTO division, the schedule is a little bit different here because the work is continuous, right? We once we start at a community, there's no end to the schedule, right? So we here are some of the specifics. One thing is you're going to notice that we've got block here. Block is how we refer to basically the invitation date. Typically in the UTO division, we are invited to unit turns or estimate unit turns or whatever. We're told by the community of new turns at specific times. A lot of times those invitations are learned of in the weekly MIMO meeting. A MIMO meeting, the acronym is MIMO, is very similar to what other divisions would call an OAC, which is an owner, architect, and contractor meet. The OAC, same thing. Sometimes it's on site. Most times it's just a weekly call. But for UTO division, we call it a MIMO. That's something that a term that a lot of the clients use, and that acronym stands for move in, move out meeting. And typically that's when that meeting is where we learn of the new units that they would like us to do. And so we have that date as the block because it's a block of units, right? It could be, so a block might only be one unit. It could be 6 units or 30 units. All it kind of depends on the community and their individual needs. So getting into the schedule itself. First of all, this little caret down here is just a way to minimize this menu, side menu here. This line here, this blue line, we call this the bulkhead. Having a task up against the bulkhead means that when you go over to the project's landing page, you will see that these items under progress are only the items that are up against the bulkhead. Now, most of you have the ability to preview client side, which is done right here on this little eye right here. So when you click that, you go over there and you'll see exactly what the clients see. So any clients listed on a project, this is what they see. And sometimes it's good to refer to this to see what information and data is being displayed on their end to make sure that it's accurate and formatted and being presented properly. So if you're ever curious about what they're seeing, that's how you do it. We go up here to return to the member side, which, by the way, this is fully, fully interactive. It'll show you everything that they see under all of their tabs over there, all their options. So we go back to the team member side up here, click that. Getting back over to the Gantt, the items against the bulkhead, they do not have to be items that or tasks that have subtasks, right? So in other words, if I add a task here, task down below, overall completion, that task, I'm going to publish change real quick. That task will then show up over here on the overall, the overview of the project. Another quick tip is very helpful. Looking at the project setup, some seats at Lagniappe National have access to the project setup and the data that is presented there. Some don't, but in any case, this little eye icon, this little project info here, will save you a little bit of time knowing that that's there if you ever want to know which clients have been added to a project. That's on there. The address of the community is on there. Who is in charge of this update clearer right here. That is called update clearer in CoConstruct. We call it software admin. Long ago, we used to call it the LCO police. LCO is just another term for CoConstruct, which is Lagniappe CoConstruct. LCO is just an acronym we formed a long time ago. So if you hear that term, that's what that means. But yeah, update clearer is the software admin, but knowing that informational icon is there can be helpful sometimes if you need a quick remind yourself of which clients are on there, connected to a project already, or the address to the community and a few other things like that. Okay, so up against the bulkhead means that that item task will be shown on the overview page of the project, okay? I'm going to remove that. Typically, overall completion on projects would be the first item listed on a Gantt schedule for the clients so that they can easily log in and see the overall completion percentage of a project. Now, in talking about the Gantt, we're gonna go to a project that we could actually make some edits to and not affect anything in the real world. But I'm also going to leave that one up. This is for ADRS is Abbey Delray South UTOs, a community that we are active in performing UTOs at this time. This is the divisional project for the UTO division, and a few things live in here, but it's also a great place to do testing and things like that for training videos and whatnot. So I'll have this schedule up. But again, we'll be bouncing back and forth. I can't make too many edits on the actual project, so we'll be kind of bouncing back and forth between the divisional project and the project itself. So you'll see that the caret here, at least that's what I call it, guys. The caret is a task, and hitting the caret brings down all the subtasks. So you'll see the block, and then the subtasks of that block are actual unit numbers and the unit type. Formatting on schedules is extremely important. Don't be, I always say, be as creative and as much of a special individual as you want to be at all times in your life, except when you're working in CoConstruct. The formatting and even down to the capital letters or lowercase letters in CoConstruct all mean something, and they all have to, anything you input into CoConstruct needs to be per the format that information needs to be put in as. So you'll notice here always capital letters. We always only use capital letters in schedules. The unit number, then the unit type being in parentheses afterwards. This is the format. We start getting out of this format style, and it will get confusing very quickly. So we've got the unit number, unit type, and as you down click this, oh, look at that. We've got one. All I did there was double click it. CoConstruct is by far the easiest Gantt schedule that is available on any software that I have found anyway. Yeah. Zoom in a little bit there. So as you click the caret on an individual unit, it will show you all the items that need to be completed there on that unit. This blue bar here separates, the data itself from the Gantt style icons over here. So, and you can move this, move it over. Okay, it's going to show you a whole bunch of other columns of information. Excuse me. That you can use for getting your schedule correct. You can widen these, okay? You can shrink them. You can even change the order, which is something that you will do on a fairly regular basis when working in the schedule, because depending on what you're editing in that moment, the column right here on the left side of the bar can change. Sometimes you need the timeline of the items being mentioned here. Sometimes you need the specific start and stop dates. Sometimes you need assignees. So you can move these. All you do is click and hold the column, and it'll move it over to wherever you drop it at. Okay. Another important note about left side of the blue bar is notes and files right here. Notes and files, if you open up one of these line items, which you can do by either, I believe double clicking will open up, double clicking directly on the lettering is going to open that item up so you can edit the words here. If you double click it anywhere else over to the right, it'll, that's trying to open up the, well, there is a place somewhere, guys, but right clicking the item and going to open task, task, I guess is the name, proper name, will open up where these notes are. This is a great place to write descriptions. One item that we commonly use here is a general idea of the standard timeline, length of time that it takes to do the task mentioned. So for instance, if this was a painting line, you would have a note in here, something like painting is equal to an average of 200 square foot per day per painting professional. 2-person paint team can paint 400 square feet per day. This would be like a general line. So if you've got project is 2,000 square feet, therefore timeline was set for 10 days. That sort of thing. That's what I mean by standard. How your description here is how you based the timeline that you're using, the duration of a task, right? And it is okay. You'll notice that there is trade partner notes and team member notes. All this means is whatever you type in team member notes, only Lanyap National staff will be able to view that. You put it here, trade partner notes, and trade partners can view it. This note is a good example of one that you would want them to see, right? You want them to see, how did you come up with that painting only taking 10 days? We think it's 3 weeks. Well, here's how we stepped through the math. So I'm going to highlight that. I always say that right-clicking and going to copy is for wimps. Because you can highlight and press and hold the control key and C, so control C will copy it all for you automatically. Then you can delete it, click up here, control V is paste, and there you go, you're off to the races. You can save that, and when you do, I should have made that on a paint line. You'll see that this little icon popped up. That is telling you that, hey, there's a note on this task somewhere. So as you're looking through your schedule, you see this icon under notes and files, which is one that I typically keep pretty narrow, because as long as you see the icon, it serves the same purpose of knowing what's in there. You know that there's a note in there, either one that's meant for the trade partner viewing or Lanyap National team members only viewing. So, so that is notes. Assignees, run through that one. Every item on your schedule needs to be assigned to someone. We talk a lot about the 3 W's at Lanyap. The 3 W's are: what is it, who is responsible, and when. What, who, and when. Schedule is ultimately the only way to enforce accountability, to make sure that people are completing the task that they need to complete, their part of a project in a timely manner. But if they don't know when you have planned for them to complete that item, then guess what? It's not really their fault whenever they don't, right? So this is how we convey our expectation of each item that needs to be done on a project. So every task on here, again, will be assigned to someone. That assignee could be a Lanyap National staff member. Look, here's Bobby Smith right here, one of our very own. Of course, this is actually not an item that he would be assigned to, but this can be if you go to select an assignee, you'll see that all these names, so every trade partner is here. Every Lanyap National team member is also here. So every user in CoConstruct other than clients are in this list of assignee, potential assignees, I guess, if you will. So remember that trade partners include labor subcontractors. It also includes material suppliers. So both are considered trade partners in CoConstruct. So once assigned, let's just, we'll pick somebody real quick here. Let's say it's 360 painting. There we go. Paint contractor. Well, I better not assign that. they'll actually get an email based on that. So we're going to take them off, and let's put myself in as an assignee. Josh Schmidt. Okay. Save and close. Now, when I click publish, I'm also going to go back real fast and take out this data that we put in earlier as an example note. So as we save this, publish your changes. Any changes is not a live doc, meaning that it's not saving the whole time you're making edits. It is only going to save whenever you click that publish. So never close out of a schedule without publishing. That should be the last thing you always do, and you should do it frequently. If you forget, all the work all the edits you made will be gone. They will not be in there. I always say that every new user to CoConstruct and new user to building a schedule in CoConstruct will, in the early days of using it, forget to hit that publish schedule. And when you do, you'll lose all that data. The good news is, that's the bad news. The good news is, it's probably going to be the last time you ever forget, because don't want that to happen again. So you'll get into the habit of pressing publish often when you're making your edits. So as you'll see, I'm now assigned to this line item. There is a confirmed section for the schedule. I don't see that popping up. Here we go. Let's see. There's some files, predecessors and successors, which is basically the same thing, right? Let's see. We have our notifications. Sorry, guys, there is a baseline. Trade partner visibility. Well, there is a, I apologize, I'll have to, in part 2, I'll confirm where the confirmation is for that, for each task, because as you assign these, the assignee, especially on the trade partner side, will get an email and it will ask them to confirm those schedule items. So they're by confirming, which they do simply by clicking the box in the email, it will, they're basically confirming what the tasks are and when you have them penciled in for. So you will, on your end, as a Land National team member, you will see that they've confirmed it. Having unconfirmed tasks in your schedule might mean that trade partner, or even LNC staff, but certainly that trade partner either didn't get it, they didn't see it, or it gives a bit of a deniability option there on their end, right? So you really want them to confirm the tasks that they're assigned to in your schedule. Not doing so can kind of go in the opposite direction of what we're trying to accomplish here by having the accurate schedule. So that is assignees in a nutshell. That is notes and files. The rest of these are more or less self-explanatory: start date, finish date with work days. That is the number of days that task will take. You can edit these quickly by double clicking, and let's say we want to change this to 13 days to do this, and bingo, it's changed it immediately. So we'll get into a little bit more of work days, the number of work days in a schedule in a subsequent video. The work days listed here, by the way, are the actual work days that the project is active, right? If you look up here on the top right, there is project work days, Monday through Saturday. This is a default in our co-construct and in Lanyap's co-construct profile. So most of our projects are active Monday through Saturday, off on Sunday. If you have a project that is either shut down on weekends or maybe it's 7 days a week, actually, is the other direction. Edit that here because as you put in the actual work days here, it is going to conform to the days of the week that that project's active per this setting right here. So again, more on the number of work days per task here in another video. You've got notifications, which is going to take you to the notifications previously sent. Predecessors and successors, these are, I said earlier, those are the same thing. If you've got a predecessor for good example right here. We've got demo and we've got paint. Well, we really need to demo before we paint, right? So demo would be a predecessor to paint, and vice versa with successor, right? Paint is a successor to demo. So those are tied together. My only point there. Shrink this back down. Trade partner visibility. This is something that I believe is edited as you open. There are certain files as you attach. You can edit the sharing level here. There may be files in here that we do not want the trade partner to see. And if that's the case, you just wouldn't click this. If it is something that they need to see, you would just turn this on as you select the file and upload it. Baseline, it takes a minute to close those out sometimes. This baseline column here, baseline start, baseline finish. This has to do with the reporting feature in co-construct in this performance tab over here. It's something that not everyone has access to, but it is something that in projects you do keep up with. It's a very important feature in projects, short or long term. In UTO division, it's not something that, because it's a running kind of never-ending project, not something we use very much, just because of that. The only ones we did not cover here is comments. You can tell you what, we're gonna bring into these and not publish what we have. You can get into comments for a specific task item. This is a very powerful tool, being able to discuss a specific task, especially with a team member directly. As you can see here, clients cannot view scheduled tasks. That's because you cannot assign a task to a client, not in the schedule. Anyway, being able to discuss a specific item, task item with a team member or a trade partner, I should say, with a trade partner directly is a very powerful thing. It enforces a tremendous amount of accountability. Discussing things with team members only. If there's a scheduled task that is lagging a bit, it should have been completed, it's not. You can communicate about that singular schedule item here within the LNC family. They're just like in most areas of co-construct for comments, you have the ability to @mention. @mention is what we call what I just did, @sign, and then you type in the name of the team member. And what that does is it'll generate a specific email or however they have their settings, but certainly an email at the very least, copy of whatever your comment will be there. So @mentions are something that you can use pretty broadly. It's not just all of Lanyap national team members. It's also in teams and divisions. It's also seats. So if there's a specific division, you want to tell an entire division about something, that you can do. If you want to tell an entire team about something, that's something you can do. All of our teams are here, all of our divisions are here, and I said a moment ago that all of our seats are here. That means that if you wanted to do a mention to software admin, there they are. If the, say, labor procurement officer that that seat, pull it up. So all seats, all teams, all divisions are here. You can do an @mention to any of them. So those are the columns left of the blue line described. Basically, we're going to take a break and come back for part 2 of Intro to UTO Schedule, Gantt Schedule.